The distress signal reached the outer rim of the Androsia belt, a wide expanse of dust, ice, and forgotten stars orbiting a dying sun. Commander Eli Vance, exobiologist and freelance rescuer aboard the Starwind, caught it on a scrambled frequency while scanning for signs of life in a region long considered barren. Unregistered frequency. His AI, Luma, chirped. Signal strength degrading. Origin, planet Scylla, 9. Classification, Royal Alert, Tier 1. Species, Zirili. Eli raised an eyebrow. The Zirili were a reclusive, fiercely proud race. 9 feet tall, bioluminescent, telepathic, and rarely interacted with outsiders. The idea of them broadcasting a distress signal that was akin to a lion crying for help. Curiosity overrode caution. Set course for Scylla 9, he ordered. 12 hours later, the Starwind broke through the veil of iridescent storms that blanketed the planet. On the ground, a cathedral-like jungle sprawled across the land, trees with crystalline bark, rivers glowing like plasma, and vines that pulsed with light. At the center of it all, a towering structure shaped like a spiraled lotus gleamed under the twin moons. It was the royal sanctuary. Something's not right, Luma said. Power surges all over the place. Biosignatures fading. Eli donned his breathing suit and disembarked, following the signal to its source. What he found was chaos. Massive Zirili warriors lay scattered across the sanctuary steps, either unconscious or barely breathing. Their shimmering skin was dim, and their psychic pulses were faint. He pushed through into the inner sanctum and gasped. There, lying in a pool of bioluminescent blood, was the sacred beast. It was unlike anything he'd seen. Part feline, part draconian, its scales rippled with star patterns. Its breathing was shallow, and strange crystalline thorns jutted from its flank. Beside it knelt the Zirili queen, Seraphine. Her form was majestic even in despair, tall and radiant, adorned in ceremonial robes woven from solar threads. Her eyes, opalescent and glowing, locked onto Eli. You came, she said, voice echoing not through his ears but his mind. Eli stepped forward cautiously. I'm here to help. What happened? A toxin bred in the dark heart of Scylla by those who covet the throne. It was meant for me, but my bond beast, Calyx, took the blow. He knelt beside the beast and examined the thorns. They were growing, alive like parasitic crystals, feeding on Calyx's energy. I need to operate, Eli said. You have minutes, she whispered. Part 2. The Bond of Life. With only a portable medkit, plasma scalpel, and a neural stabilizer, Eli began the delicate process of removing the thorns. Each one he pulled out caused Calyx to convulse, unleashing a wave of psychic backlash that nearly knocked him out. But he pushed on, sweat drenching his suit, his hands steady. The queen watched in silence, her psychic link with Calyx tethering the beast's spirit to life as Eli fought off death with science and sheer stubbornness. Finally, with the last thorn extracted, Calyx let out a long, pained breath, but it was a breath nonetheless. The glow returned to his scales. The parasitic infection slowed. He'll need time, Eli said, falling back on his heels. But he'll live. The queen bowed her head, tears streaming down her cheeks, glowing as they fell. You have done the impossible, outsider, she said. You have saved the sacred beast of the crown. Such an act is bound by law. Eli frowned. What law? She rose, her full height nearly twice his, and declared, the royal law of the Syllabond. Whoever saves the sacred beast of the throne must become royal consort to the queen. Eli blinked. Wait, what? Part 3. The storm of politics. The announcement spread like wildfire. Suddenly, Eli found himself not a rescuer, but a political symbol. Half the court welcomed him as a hero destined to bring fresh blood and balance to the royal line. The other half viewed him as a contaminant, an outsider sullying their ancient traditions. High Priest Zeron, the Queen's spiritual advisor, opposed the bond vehemently. He is not of the blood. He does not bear the light of origin. But Queen Seraphine was resolute. He saved Calix. That is a bond stronger than blood. Despite his confusion and resistance, Eli couldn't deny he felt something. A strange connection not just to Calix, who now followed him loyally, but to the Queen herself. Their minds touched often, not always with words, but shared emotions, memories, fears. He saw visions of her lonely childhood, her ascension to power, the pressure to produce an heir with no one she truly trusted. And she saw his past. His losses in the Terran War, the lover he couldn't save, the guilt that drove him to become a healer. Still, Eli resisted the binding. I didn't come here for this. I came to save a life, not get entangled in royal drama. Yet here you are, Seraphine said softly. And our people now see hope in you. Part 4. The challenge of tradition. To legitimize the bond, Eli had to undergo the rite of the Luminarch, a brutal test involving combat, diplomacy, and a communion with the ancient source flame, the origin of all Zirali power. His human biology was unsuited for much of it. The neural heat of the source flame nearly killed him. The ritual combat with the chosen challenger, Zeron's son Virek, left him bloodied and broken. But he survived. In the final trial, Calix lay beside him, lending Eli his psychic strength. Their bond grew until Eli could sense the Queen even from across the palace grounds. The royal council, watching his trials, slowly shifted from contempt to reluctant respect. Then came the assassination attempt. A faction of purists, furious at Eli's growing influence, tried to poison him and Calix both. But Seraphine intercepted the toxin, drinking it herself. As her life faded, Eli made a decision. He used the last of the stabilizer serum, not for himself but for her. He risked a psychic link so deep it could have fried his mind, transferring part of his neural energy into her dying form. And she lived. Part 5. The Crown and the Consort. Weeks passed. The sun rose over Scylla 9, brighter than it had in decades. The coronation bonding ceremony was held in the Crystal Grove, where the ancestors once communed with the living. Eli, dressed in royal synth silk, stood beside Queen Seraphine beneath the flame tree of Var. Calix roared in approval as the crowd cheered. Zeron, once an enemy, now knelt in acceptance. Seraphine took his hand. You could still leave, she whispered. Go back to your ship, your galaxy. Eli looked into her eyes and shook his head. I saved Calix. He saved me back. And somewhere in the middle, I think, we all saved each other. The royal binding was completed. No longer outsider and queen, they were partners. Two souls from different stars, bound by choice, fate, and the roar of a sacred beast who had refused to die.